And for the moment, cutting across to live images once again of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Gujarat to review the situation of the devastation caused by Cyclone Taukte. Prime Minister Narendra Modi just a short while back undertook an aerial survey of the affected areas in Gujarat and adjoining Union Territory of Diu to assess the extent of the damage caused, and these are visuals of the meeting that is taking place now in Ahmedabad. These are top state officials along with Chief Minister Vijay Rupani who are briefing the Prime Minister on the current situation. The Prime Minister, in the aftermath of Cyclone Taukte, landed in Bhavnagar this afternoon, proceeded for an aerial survey of Una, Diu, Jafrabad and Mahua. So certainly trying to understand what kind of damage has been witnessed in the state of Gujarat. Boarded a helicopter, took an aerial survey. This is the cyclone that made landfall on Monday night between Diu and Una town of Gir Somnath district, and the Prime Minister personally monitoring the current situation, also trying to understand more on the rescue operations. Just a short while back, we were also sharing details of how the Prime Minister was being briefed on the barge P305 rescue operations, where many people were still stranded. Some of them have been rescued, brought back by INS Kochi. So those updates being given to the Prime Minister, and this is the meeting that is taking place, the high-level meeting in Ahmedabad on post-cyclone ravaged areas. So as the death toll continues to climb in Gujarat, those who have been affected continue to narrate their ordeal. You have the Prime Minister who has reached Gujarat amid the pandemic situation, wherein in the national capital also he's been holding several meetings, interacting with chief ministers and district magistrates just yesterday. So the Prime Minister, once again, given the need of the hour, is in Ahmedabad chairing a review meeting post the aerial survey of those areas that have largely been affected by Cyclone Taukte. If we talk about the cyclone, remember it has very badly hit parts of the state, left behind a trail of destruction along the coast while uprooting electric poles, trees, damaging thousands of houses and roads. So this has been one of the worst cyclones faced by the state. Taukte triggered heavy rainfalls in many parts from Saurashtra coast to North Gujarat. So there have been after effects of the cyclone also that we have been reporting on since the last 2 days. The landfall though was made on Monday night, but the situation still not really under control. Niranjan, also my colleague, joining us with more details on the same. Niranjan, any more information we have on this meeting that is underway?
Yes, several updates that we're getting right now. The Prime Minister has also spoken to senior officials while he takes stock of operations being undertaken to rescue the personnel on an ONGC barge, government sources have said. Now, he was earlier on board a chopper, getting a first-hand look at what was happening and the damage and the aftermath of what was happening on what has happened in the aftermath of Cyclone Taukte. Now, at least 22 personnel on board the accommodation barge P305 that went adrift in Cyclone Taukte Fury before sinking in the Arabia Sea of Mumbai coast are dead. 65 were still missing. And the Navy has said that its personnel battling extreme weather have so far rescued 186 of the 273 people who were on board the barge, and also 2 from tugboat Varaprada. Now the Prime Minister is in Gujarat, and he's had a first-hand account. He's seen the devastation on the ground. 45 people, that's the estimate that we have, 45 people on record as having passed away in Gujarat. So he's, because of the cyclone aftermath, the Prime Minister undertook an aerial survey a few minutes back of the affected areas and adjoining Union Territory of Diu to assess the devastation caused by Cyclone Taukte. That he's in Gujarat and right now in Ahmedabad to review the situation in the aftermath of the cyclone. Now, he landed at Bhavnagar from Delhi this afternoon and proceeded for the aerial survey of Una, Diu, Jafrabad and Mahua. He boarded the chopper for the aerial survey.
तुम्ही ज्या व्यक्तीशी बोलत
All right. So, Cyclone Taukte certainly battered the oil rig and left 3 vessels adrift in the Arabian Sea. The Indian Navy and Coast Guard at this moment are involved in one of the largest offshore search and rescue operations in history. So the Prime Minister was essentially briefed on that and on the ground situation and how the on-ground situation in Gujarat remains very serious. The Navy also just today reported that several of those personnel on the ONGC barge were brought back, but also unfortunately 14 of them who have lost their lives. 180 plus people who have been rescued safely and have been brought back. INS Kochi, in fact, was seen entering the Mumbai harbour just this morning. So we're picking up many more details on the rescue operations that are underway, and Prime Minister, as we speak, is chairing this review meeting. Yes, Niranjan?
Yes, and you know, we were just getting an update on the figures of the ONGC staff that who are missing in the sea. Those unrelenting rescue operations continue in the aftermath. Just getting in a quick update of the barge. GAL constructor, that is GL constructor, was stranded off the Satpati coast. 137 people were on board and all 137 were rescued. Barge C305, it sank about 35 nautical miles off the Mumbai coast. 237 people on board. 186 people have been rescued. 65 were reported missing. 22 people were reported dead. Barge SS3, 196 people were on board. And Sagar Bhushan oil rig and 100 people were on board. Now, barge, SS3 and oil rig personnel are reportedly safe. So their search is on for about, the 50 to 60 ONGC staff and for them the search continues. So this is the latest update that we have. And I'd like to also, tell you that as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, he's undertaken a survey, an aerial survey of the affected areas, especially in Gir Somnath, in Bhavnagar, and also in as far as the affected areas are concerned, he was in Amreli. These are different districts of Gujarat. He was also taking a review of the situation in Diu. The cyclone which made a landfall between Diu and Una town of Gir Somnath district caused major property damage to Prithvi and also uprooted trees in that region. After the survey, the Prime Minister was scheduled to hold this review meeting, which is currently underway. Now, the latest number that we have is that 45 people have lost their lives in the cyclone. In Gujarat alone, around 11 people in the state of Maharashtra. Now, it's pummeled several parts of the state, leaving behind a trail of destruction along the coast, uprooting poles, trees, damaging thousands of houses and roads in what's been one of the worst cyclones faced by Gujarat. So Taute has triggered heavy rains in many parts of Saurashtra as well. Coast of Saurashtra, coast of North Gujarat, to North Gujarat, with nearly 46 talukas, we are told, receiving over 100 millimeters of downpour, while 12 of them recorded 150 millimeters to 175 millimeters of rain. So the rainfall itself has been, very, very heavy in most of the coastal regions of Gujarat. So this cyclone was earlier characterized as an extremely cyclonic, severe cyclonic storm, and later weakened into a depression. But it could have been much worse. But the impact telling you, how the dangers that we face in the recent past. We've had several cyclones battering the west coast, especially. I'm handing it back to you while we keep a close track, not just in the situation in Gujarat, but also in Maharashtra and the search of the west coast.
Yes, the rescue agencies have also been maintaining that they've not faced this kind of a challenge, at least in the past 2 decades or so. And just like in the past, the Prime Minister is now on ground zero to assess the situation personally. Thank you, Niranjan, for that update.